Kailasa, a temple that modern man cannot build.
The Kailasha, IAST, Kailasa, or Kailashanatha, IAST, Kailashanatha, temple is the largest of the rock-cut Hindu temples at the Ellora Caves, Aurangabad District, Maharashtra, India. A megalith carved from a rock cliff face, it is considered one of the most remarkable cave temples in the world because of its size, architecture, and sculptural treatment, and the climax of the rock-cut phase of Indian architecture. The top of the superstructure over the sanctuary is 32.6 meters, 107 feet, above the level of the court below, although the rock face slopes downwards from the rear of the temple to the front. Archaeologists believe it is made from a single rock. The Kailasa Temple, Cave 16, is the largest of the 34 Buddhist, Jain, and Hindu cave temples and monasteries known collectively as the Ellora Caves, ranging for over 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, along the sloping basalt cliff at the site. Most of the excavation of the temple is generally attributed to the 8th century Rashtrakuta king Krishna I, r.c. 756 to 773, with some elements completed later. The temple architecture shows traces of Pallava and Chalukya styles. The temple contains a number of relief and freestanding sculptures on a grand scale equal to the architecture, though only traces remain of the paintings which originally decorated it. The Kailasa temple features the use of multiple distinct architectural and sculptural styles. This, combined with its relatively large size, has led some scholars to believe that its construction spanned the reigns of multiple kings. Some of the temple reliefs feature the same style as the one used in the Ellora Cave, Cave 15, which is located next to the temple. The Ellora Cave contains an inscription of Krishna's predecessor and nephew Dandurga, c. 735 to 756. Based on this, art historian Hermann Goetz, 1952, theorized that the construction of the Kailasa temple began during the reign of Dandurga. Krishna consecrated its first complete version, which was much smaller than the present-day temple. According to Goetz, Dandurga's role in the temple construction must have been deliberately suppressed, as Krishna sidelined Dandurga's sons to claim the throne after his death. Based on an analysis of the different styles, Goetz further hypothesized that the later Rashtrakuta rulers also extended the temple. These rulers include Dhruvadara, Govinda III, Amagavarsha, and Krishna III. According to Goetz, the 11th century Paramura ruler Bhoja commissioned the elephant lion frieze on the lower plinth during his invasion of Deccan and added a new layer of paintings. Finally, Ahilyabai Holkar commissioned the last layer of paintings in the temple. M.K. Davalikar, 1982, analyzed the architecture of the temple and concluded that the major part of the temple was completed during the reign of Krishna I, although he agreed with Goetz that some other parts of the temple complex can be dated to the later rulers. According to Davalikar, the following components were completed by Krishna: the main shrine, its gateway, the Nandi Mandapa, the lower story, the elephant lion frieze, the court elephants, and the victory pillars. Davalikar admits that the most important sculpture of the temple, which depicts Ravana shaking the Kailasa mountain, appears to have been built after the main edifice. This sculpture is considered one of the finest pieces of Indian art, and it is possible that the temple came to be known as Kailasa after it. Davalikar theorizes that this sculpture was carved around 3–4 decades after the completion of the main shrine, on the basis of its similarity to the Tandava sculpture in the Lankeshwar cave. H. Goetz dated this relief to the reign of Krishna III. Like Goetz, Davalikar attributes some other structures in the temple complex to the later rulers. These include the Lankeshwar cave and the shrine of the river goddesses, possibly constructed during the reign of Govinda III. Davalikar further theorizes that the excavation of the Ellora cave, which began during the reign of Dandurga, was completed during the reign of Krishna I. This explains the similarities between the sculptures in the two caves. Davalikar pointed out that no major part of the monolithic temple appears to have been an afterthought. Architectural evidence suggests that the entire temple was planned at the beginning. The main shrine is very similar to although much larger than the Virupaksha temple at Patadakal, which itself is a replica of the Kailasa temple at Kanchi. The Patadakal Virupaksha temple was commissioned by the Chalukyas of Badami to commemorate their victory over the Pallavas, who had constructed the Kailasa temple at Kanchi. According to the Virupaksha temple inscriptions, the Chalukyas brought the Pallava artists to Patadakal after defeating the Pallavas. Dhavalikar theorizes that after defeating the Chalukyas, Krishna must have been impressed by the Virupaksha temple located in their territory. As a result, he brought the sculptors and architects of the Virupaksha temple, including some Pallava artists, to his own territory and engaged them in the construction of the Kailasa temple at Ellora. If one assumes that the architects of the Virupaksha temple helped construct the Kailasa temple at Ellora, the construction of a massive temple during the reign of a single monarch does not seem impossible. The architects already had a blueprint and a prototype, which must have significantly reduced the effort involved in constructing a new temple. Moreover, quarrying a monolithic temple would have actually involved less effort than transporting large stones to build a new temple of similar size. Assuming that one person can cut around 4 cubic feet of rock every day, Dhavalikar estimated that 250 laborers would have managed to construct the Kailasa temple at Ellora within 5.5 years. The presence of non-Rashtrakuta styles in the temple can be attributed to the involvement of Chalukya and Pallava artists.